Alright, how we doing, folks? Boom, I'm gonna see if I numbers after the name. A little games beating action over here, a little Metroid, man. I got my volume way too high on these headphones, yo. Turn that volume down a little bit, son. Turn that volume down. The headphones, yo. Turn it up, turn it down. So, games beating over here, action, man. Metroid. Metroid's always been one of those games that I wanted to go back and revisit. It's really interesting when you look at like kind of my lineage with Metroid. I didn't play the NES one when it came out. I just never got it. I had maybe like a total of like 10 NES games. I played the crap out of Mario over and over and over again, you know. We didn't really have that much money to be spending on games and stuff. Games were expensive back in the day. I think people kind of forget that. Now they're about as expensive as you want them to be sometimes, right? You could either get them like free if you have like the online stuff. I guess free is relative in that sense, but you get them for a lower price on the online stuff, or you could wait for a discount, or you just pay $60 for them. Now there's like the special editions and stuff like that, but that's you if you want to do that. You can just buy the base game for like $60 if you want. Whereas back in the day, like the prices ranged from anywhere, man. It would be like, you know, somewhere between like 50 and like 80. Like it was wild, man. So I didn't have that many NES games, whatever. Metroid just wasn't one of them. I honestly didn't even know what Metroid was. Super Metroid I knew about, but once again it was kind of expensive, whatever. I didn't buy it. And Metroid Prime came out, and that's when I hopped on the series. I was like, whoa, hold up, like this thing was amazing. Like what the Metroid Prime was amazing. It was such a great game. I gotta go back and play it. I didn't get Metroid Prime 2, I think, when it came out. I got it a little bit later. But I did get Fusion. I got Zero Mission. I really love those, and those were built a little more in the vein of kind of what this game was. And then eventually, when I was in college, I ended up getting Super Metroid for $5 at the spot, which I was like, yo, this is crazy. I was like, they don't even know what they're selling. And for real, they don't. There was like a record store, like an old record store, and they sold like CDs, and they had like a little DVD section on the side, which was pretty fairly priced. And then they had a video game section with pretty much like all the games for $5. So like Madden 1995 for like the SNES was like the same price as Super Metroid, and I was like, yo, I like this, but they didn't really have that many good games. Super Metroid was kind of the outlier over there. So that's got my lineage over here with Metroid. And I beat Metroid Prime, I beat Fusion, I beat Zero Mission. I have not finished Metroid Prime 2. I literally played Metroid Prime 3 for a couple minutes. I didn't like the motion controls in it. I want to go back to it because I've heard it's a good game, but I don't know. The motion controls kind of oof. I've gotten really deep into Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I think almost close to like the end of the game, but it's a little bit too much of like go here, go there, go here thing. So I kind of got a little bit tired of it. And then Super Metroid, I've made it pretty deep, but I've also never beaten it. I have to go back and replay it. I'm planning on replaying it over here in the SNES Mini at some point, man, because it deserves that kind of like replayability mode over here. Now you're about to see like what Confusion looks like. I was like, hold up, do I gotta go like all the way back here? Like it seems a little bit weird that I gotta go like all the way back there. And I'm like, I'm kind of stuck over here. I can't make it. What the hell? And I knew there was like a sequence or something where you escape, but I was like, all right, you'll see here the ignorance of it. And this is just the first time I played Metroid. I'll know over next time. But going back to the NES Metroid, man, I really enjoyed the game. I would suggest this though, and this is what I did. I printed out a map because there's no map in this game, whereas the rest of them do have a map, and you know they're accurate to a certain extent, right? Some of the hidden stuff isn't on the map, some of it is. I would recommend you buy a map, or just buy it. You know, I guess you could buy it if you want to go find like a player's guide. Go ahead and buy that. I just printed it off the internet because it was a lot easier to understand like where everything was in relation to me and where I was with the map. I didn't think it really took away necessarily from the game. It's obviously it's a different experience. If you really want to feel like you're lost and stuff, go ahead. The save stating helps out a lot. Just being able to save wherever the hell you want is really like a huge key. Also for like restarting like on bosses and stuff. Like over here in Metroid, I kind of save stated almost where I started, and I kind of just kept going that way. It definitely makes the game a different experience. I'm not a save spammer, so like I wouldn't, for example, like save state like halfway between the fight and Metroid. I want to keep that like experience honest. It's really up to you though what you want to do, and so I don't really have like any hatred towards people that do like spam like save states or anything like that. It's the experience that you want to make out of the game. For me, I want the challenge, but I don't want the pain in the ass repetition part of the NES games, right? That's what save state allows me to do, where I want the challenge of beating Metroid straight up and doing this whole like escape sequence like by myself without like having a save state. But I don't want to like every time I die to Metroid like have to be like mad, fall away, make my way down there, even though that is part of the initial challenge of the game. I mean, there's a reason why they did that. You're kind of skewing and changing the game designer's philosophy. But I also want to say that maybe that game designer's philosophy is that way because of the limitations of the time. And maybe if they had the save state or the ability to save that we have now, we wouldn't have those limitations. So you got to get a little bit in mind of what the developer is, but ultimately it's whatever the hell you want it to be. So that's kind of how I played it, man. Metroid, man, I'm going to end up giving him like an 8.5 out of 10. This was a pretty damn good game. A little limited at sometimes in terms of like what it did graphically and whatnot, but for the NES time, like this is a very ambitious title. And then we have the surprise shocker over here at the end. So I might move on to Super Metroid here in a little bit. I'm playing Evil Within 2 right now, actually. But Super Metroid's over here on the dock, and I want to check that out. Because everyone says it's a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't that crazy.